Three airports, three different cities: New Delhi, Rajkot and Jabalpur. As heavy rainfall pounded several cities across India, canopies of these three airports collapsed. In just a short span of 3 days, the monsoon and pre-monsoon showers exposed poor resilience of airport infrastructure in extreme conditions. This footage, shot by an eyewitness, shows the roof leaking water during heavy rain before the collapse of the canopy of New Delhi's domestic T1 terminal. Then, around 5 a.m. local time on the 28th of June, part of the canopy came crashing down, crushing cars parked underneath, killing one person and injuring 8 others.
I was sleeping in my car. Around 5:30 in the morning, there was a very loud lightning sound. I saw that the roof had collapsed and there were around 8 to 10 cars under it.
A section of the canopy, which is outside of the airport extension of the airport building, has collapsed due to heavy rains that has been happening since the night. And we want to express our condolence to the life that has been lost in this tragic incident also. The situation is under control. The whole rest of the terminal building has been closed off and everything is being thoroughly inspected so that any other untoward incident does not happen here.
But the big question is, were regular checks of such structures not done? The government has now ordered an inquiry into the collapse, along with an inspection of the structural strength of airports across the country. The Delhi airport incident has led to the indefinite suspension of operations from Terminal 1. But it was not just the airport that was affected by the torrential downpour. By morning, Delhiites woke up to utter chaos. After a prolonged heat wave, residents witnessed severe floods with record-breaking rainfall. That one day in June marked the highest rainfall for the month in 88 years.
In Delhi, between 2:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. today, the maximum rainfall recorded has been 228 millimeters from our Safdarjung Observatory, and other observatories of Delhi have also reported extremely heavy rainfall.
My regular commute to Karol Bagh usually takes 45 minutes, but today it has been an hour and 45 minutes already because of the heavy traffic jam on the roads. There is severe waterlogging in several areas and the people's cars, buses, motorbikes and auto rickshaws have broken down.
Look at these dramatic visuals from one of New Delhi's underpasses, where passengers were rescued from a bus trapped in severe waterlogging. And then there is Minto Bridge, or Shivaji Bridge, the synonym for Delhi waterlogging. Built in 1933, the underpass below the bridge is a low-lying patch surrounded by areas at a higher elevation. This bowl-like depression is a natural receptacle for rainwater. The Minto Bridge underpass has a catchment area of 1 kilometer, contributing to the recurring waterlogging issues during heavy rainfall. In 2020, a 56-year-old man lost his life after his truck was submerged in the underpass during the monsoon. The tragic incident led to the implementation of new protocols aimed at preventing such accidents. In 2021, 2 drains were constructed near the Minto Bridge underpass and connected to an underground storage tank beside the Minto Road pump house. Despite these efforts, things have clearly not changed. And if you think hospitals are safe bets during weather crises like these, then look at this. The basement area of the Trauma Center of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or AIIMS, was flooded due to incessant rains, after which operation had to be shut.
After heavy rain yesterday, there was severe waterlogging in parts of the AIIMS hospital, especially in the basement of the trauma center, where heavy generators and other equipments are present. We had to stop OT after that, but 4 life-threatening surgeries were performed.
From hospitals to airports to roads, everything was thrown out of gear in India's capital. So, who is to blame? Why is there no proper implementation of urban planning? Experts say the primary issue lies in New Delhi's outdated drainage system. The current infrastructure was designed to handle only 50 millimeters of rainwater. Any rainfall exceeding this threshold overwhelms the system, leading to waterlogging. Adding to this, it was reported that this year the desilting of Delhi's drainage system was not done before the rains, and the results are there for all to see.
There was acute shortage of water in the city. And within a week or so, we found that some rains and the city was flooded. So there is some issue. And the issue is that we are not giving attention to the drainage planning. You see, the rainwater goes along what is called natural drains. Natural drains have traditionally been carrying all the rainwater. And even if flooding occurred in the historical situation, the water would clear very soon. As soon as the rains stop, the water would clear. But today we see that even after rains stop, the water stagnates in the cities for days together. And Delhi is a very critical example because it's a very big city, it's capital of India, and therefore it is happening here.
Now let's take you to Moradabad in Uttar Pradesh. That's just 190 kilometers away from New Delhi. Locals here used boats to commute between their partially submerged houses due to heavy rains.
We have been feeling helpless for the last 2 days because we ran out of groceries and could not cook any food for ourselves. We have an elderly family member at home who is sick, but we still could not do anything to help.
Other places in Uttar Pradesh too saw flooded roads. Be it Mathura or Ayodhya, heavy rains disrupted everyone's lives. This is the main arterial road leading to the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Waterlogging was seen as several sections of this road caved in after the first spell of pre-monsoon rain. A boundary wall of Ayodhya Dam railway station also collapsed after heavy rains. There were reports of water leakage on the roofs of the newly constructed Ram Temple. The Uttar Pradesh government has suspended 6 officials of civic agencies for gross negligence. But what's the way forward?
The prediction or the forecast is that it is going to be a high rainfall year, and it is also clear which are those areas which are going to receive that high rainfall. We need to have a preparation accordingly. And as I said, we need to have a proper risk assessment done. We need to ensure that our current drainage system is able to take care of the peak flood, which happens during a high rainfall day. In the last 50 years, for example, the existing drainage system should be able to take care of it. The drainage network needs to be cleaned. Various agencies need to coordinate better. It is not about that we have to wait for monsoon.
Another state where the infrastructure has been exposed during the monsoon is Bihar. Five bridges collapsed in just 10 days. Questions are now being raised about the quality of the construction of these bridges. Let's take a look. On June 18th, a portion of a newly constructed 182-meter bridge in Araria district in Bihar fell into the Bakra River. The bridge, built at 12 crore rupees or $1.4 million, collapsed just before its inauguration. There were reports that local stakeholders had red flagged the quality of the bridge's construction, but those concerns were dismissed. On June 22nd, a 20-foot bridge over a canal connecting two villages collapsed in Siwan. On June 23rd, a portion of a bridge being built at 2 crore rupees or $240,000 in East Champaran collapsed. On the 25th of June, a 70-meter long and 12-meter wide bridge over the Maria River in Kishanganj fell. The construction cost was 25 lakh rupees or $30,000. Then, on June 27th, an under-construction bridge in Madhubani fell into the Kosi River. According to sources, cracks were spotted on the portion that fell. However, the contractor overseeing the project blamed a sudden discharge of water from Nepal due to heavy rain for the collapse. These repeated incidents have left social media abuzz, with users pointing out corruption as one of the main reasons behind the collapse of the bridges. The Bihar government has now formed a high-level committee to investigate the recent bridge collapses across the state.
Chaos leads to corruption. When there is, and I put it this way, because when there is a chaos and things have to happen, then people do not know how to make it happen, and then it leads to, one has to get the result. You have developed a layout, you want approval, and there is no clarity who has to approve finally. So it gives a hint or opportunity to indulge in unfair activities to achieve the results.
These visuals from Badrinath in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand can give anyone the chills. A massive avalanche hit Gandhi Sarovar around 5 a.m., just 4 kilometers away from the Kedarnath temple on June 30th. A video showing the avalanche rushing down the slopes went viral on social media. While avalanches are common in the region, environmentalists have warned about the fragile ecosystem of the mountains. Remember the 2013 North India floods. A cloudburst in the upper reaches of the Himalayas in Kedarnath led to flash floods that killed over 6,000 people. It swept away several settlements, including the one around the famous Kedarnath shrine. 11 years later, the Himalayan state still remains extremely susceptible to disasters. And the number of pilgrims has only increased. This year, Kedarnath Dham witnessed a massive influx of pilgrims, the numbers surpassing over 700,000 by the 6th of June. A hike in the number of pilgrims has been witnessed across the Char Dham Yatra circuit, which includes Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri and Yamunotri. In the town of Haridwar, vehicles were swept away as heavy rainfall caused the Suki River to flood. A short distance away from the town, Suki joins the Ganga River. Local authorities have issued warnings advising residents and visitors to avoid bathing in the river due to the dangers. Even after 2 days of rain, waterlogging continues to persist. Several vehicles were pulled out from the river after the rains subsided. Even in Himachal Pradesh, such sights have started to emerge. In this video from the Shimla area, you can see vehicles completely buried in debris post-heavy rains. One should not forget the state is still reeling from the effects of the 2023 floods. Back then, there was massive destruction, with roads and highways swept away by the deluge. Last year's floods killed more than 300 people in Himachal Pradesh alone. According to state officials, the floods caused a loss of $1.2 billion. Off to the western state of Gujarat now. On July 2nd, Valsad city got 3.45 inches of rain in 2 hours. And havoc followed for an entire day. The conditions extended to the entire state. The India Met Department issued a red alert predicting dangerous rainfall levels for Surat, Navsari, Valsad in the south. Amid heavy rainfall across the state, a road collapsed in Ahmedabad. Monsoon rains in India have often proved to be a double-edged sword, essential on one hand, wreaking havoc on the other. And this year is no different. The worry is the frequency of such extremes rising every year.
So the preparation doesn't need to be, start when the monsoon arrives. Definitely it is an exercise which needs to be done well before the monsoon hits us. And as I said, coordination between various agencies play an important role here. Again, if areas are getting waterlogged, they are getting inundated. So definitely the first thing which gets hit is the access to some of the basic infrastructure that we want to have. Suppose, the hospitals will become inaccessible. The schools will be inaccessible. Similarly, there might be some power substations.
In the neighboring Rajasthan, too, rains have created havoc. In Sri Ganganagar, the northernmost city of the state, an electric pole fell on a car amid heavy rains. Fortunately, there was no casualty. In the desert town of Bikaner, roads have turned into rivers. Visuals of vehicles floating and infrastructure being partially submerged have gone viral on social media. Even in northeast India, Assam and Manipur have been battered by heavy rains. The water level in the Brahmaputra River that flows through the region has been higher than usual due to recent rainfall. This has led to flooding in many parts of Assam. More than 500,000 people across 19 districts have been affected. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains have killed at least 38 people this season, as of July 3rd. Wildlife in the state has also taken a hit. Reports indicate that 95 out of 233 forest camps within Kaziranga National Park have been affected by the deluge, forcing animals to seek refuge on higher ground. Among many relentless rescue missions, an elephant calf was also saved by forest officials. In Manipur's capital, Imphal, rescue operations were carried out as incessant rains caused waterlogging. This is just the beginning of the rainy season in India. The bigger question remains, can India ever be monsoon-ready? How many such disastrous seasons does it take for authorities to take the matter seriously? As India continues to remain one of the most vulnerable regions to climate change, it's time to clean up the monsoon mess.